Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. It's so greatly appreciated. Truly is. Before we get started, let me give you my usual disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. Please do not take what I say as fact. Please always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Next, if you have not liked, subscribed, or commented yet, please consider doing so. It really helps me out and I really appreciate it. So today we're talking about 12-year-old Amber Lee Pasquale. She was born October 29th, 1999 in Voorhees to parents Anthony and Jennifer. Her parents divorced when she was 3 years old, and Autumn, her brother AJ, and her sister Natalie all went to live with their father after divorce. Autumn was a 7th grade straight A student at Clayton Middle School. She was described as a tomboy. She did dance and cheerleading before eventually giving that up to play softball and soccer. She was a huge fan of the Philadelphia Flyers. She liked to draw. She had a lot of friends and she loved the color blue. October of 2012, just as Autumn's 13th birthday was approaching, she tells her father that she wants a BMX bike for her birthday. She ends up finding the bike of her dreams on eBay, and her dad ends up buying it for his little girl. Autumn and her family lived in Clayton, New Jersey. Clayton's a small town that's about 25 miles south of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's considered a very safe town and a place where everyone knows each other. After Autumn was gifted her BMX from her father, she posted pictures of the bike on Facebook and asked if anybody would be willing to help her install some new parts onto her bike. After posting on Facebook, 15-year-old Justin Robinson messaged her offering to help. October 22nd, 2012, homecoming weekend. Autumn's father, Anthony, went to the game to watch his son, AJ, play. He asked Autumn if she would like to come, but she said no because she had other plans. He says, "That's fine, no big deal. Just make sure you're home in time for your 8 o'clock curfew." She was going to meet up with Justin Robinson so that he could install the new rims onto her bike. When Anthony arrived home that night, he yelled out for Autumn, but she didn't answer him. He tried calling her phone, thinking that she had just lost track of time, but again, she didn't answer him. And because Autumn was such a responsible kid, and she was not the type at all to rebel, she never missed her curfew. She basically did everything that she was supposed to. This immediately sent her father into panic mode. News of Amber's disappearance traveled quickly through the very small town, and everybody was out looking for her. Police initially thought that Amber was a runaway, and when her father called police, he was told that she would be home by breakfast. So if you've basically seen any of my videos, then you know that this gets under my skin more than you can imagine. It makes me crazy because I personally feel that every single missing person's report should be taken absolutely 100% seriously. If it turns out that it's nothing, then great. But I hate when they do that. It makes me nuts. The following morning, Sunday, October 21st, 2012, police begin to canvass the neighborhood. They knock on doors and they basically talk to everybody that they can. About 30 hours into the investigation, a cadaver dog hits on a scent that leads investigators to what looks like an abandoned home. It's got broken windows, it's got overgrown grass, it's basically just a hot mess. The man that lives there is actually known around town as being a little creepy and having an interest in teenage girls. But he was actually very cooperative with police. He let them inside willingly. He let them look around. He allowed them access to all areas of his home because, in truth, people have nothing to hide nothing. Nothing was found, and it was determined that the dog had just made a mistake. 40 hours missing. The family of Autumn decided to enlist the help of a man named Joe Nick. And even though Joe was not a police officer or an investigator, he had been involved with over 200 missing person cases. He states in an interview that the most important factor in missing person cases is time. The faster you start looking for someone, the better the chances are that you're going to find them alive. He begins speaking to friends of Autumn and he keeps hearing the name Justin Robinson. When he asked if Justin fixed bikes, the kids that he was talking to replied, "No, he steals bikes." The Robinson home was actually in very close proximity to Autumn's home, and the two had communicated through Facebook. Justin attended Clayton High School, and he knew Autumn's older brother and had seen Autumn in the past, since the middle school and the high school are on the same campus. Friday, October 28th, 2012. Two would exchange messages on Facebook for about 2 hours. She asks him about putting on the handlebars, and Justin replies, "Can you meet me somewhere close because I really can't walk?" His mother would later say that he had a childhood ankle injury and that sometimes it made it difficult for him to get around. Saturday, October 29th, 2012. Justin's mom was out of the home because she was attending the homecoming game that one of her 5 sons was playing in. The same homecoming game that Autumn's brother was playing in that day that her father was attending. In more Facebook messages exchanged between the two on the day of the murder, Autumn writes, "I was there and I didn't see you. Is your house the blue one? And is the address 77? Justin tells her that he will be on the steps. Then, just before 3 p.m. that day, Autumn sends Robinson her very last Facebook message saying, "Kay, I'll be there. Just stay there." October 22nd, 2012 at 11 p.m., after missing for 57 hours and a search that involved numerous volunteers and 200 local, state, and federal officers, Autumn was found upside down with blood coming out of her nose in a blue recycling bin that was in very close proximity to the Robinson home. She suffered blunt force trauma and her cause of death was strangulation. Her manner of death was determined to be homicide. During the execution of a search warrant at the Robinson home, officers would find Autumn's cell phone taped behind a toilet. They would find her pants sealed in a bag on a table in the basement. They would also find her blue handlebars and her BMX bike behind a door in the basement. Just hours after Autumn was found, 15-year-old Justin and 17-year-old Dante were arrested and charged with her murder. 15-year-old Justin would actually confess to what happened to Autumn the following day.
Just say, "Oh, I'm going to choke her," and that'll make her stop. I didn't think that. I didn't say that. It just happened. She searched somebody to fix her bike. I told her, "I'll fix it for you." So we went in the basement. I told her, I said, "Yeah, I got you, fix your bike." But she said, I'll pay you, if you do it for me. I fixed it up or whatever. So she's like, "Thanks." So I'm like, "What about the money?" The money was $10. That was the money she was gonna pay me. I said, "What about the money?" She's like, "Oh no, I was playing." Like, I was really looking forward to the money. So I'm like, "You can't get the bike unless you give me the money." So she's like, "Nah, I got you, I'll pay you later," or whatever, that I need it now. So she drops the bike, she hit me. I backed into a corner in my basement in the house. So, she started hitting me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to hit her physically. I didn't put my hands on females, ladies. I don't want to do anything of that. But, it just, I didn't really know what else to do. I just wanted to make her stop, you know what I'm saying? I just threw my hands around her neck, and then I just choked her until she stopped hitting me. And when she went limp, I just let her go. When I let it go, a lot of people thought I planned it, but there's nothing planned about this. At the time, I didn't know what to do, you know what I'm saying? I didn't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna choke her and kill her, that'll make her stop." I didn't think that, I didn't say that. It just happened. But that's one thing about the case that, it was blown up. They made me look like a stone cold murderer, and I'm not that. I was just a regular kid.
He says that Autumn went over to the house to trade bike parts. Justin sent her through a backyard so that nobody would see her entering the home. He lets her into the house through a back door and leads her down the steps into the basement. Once the two are in the basement, Justin punches Amber, and then he's hurt to death. He says in court that after Amber was gone and she was laying on the basement floor, that he went into frantic panic mode while he tried to figure out his next move. He swears that this was not a crime that was planned out, but I would personally take all the statements with a grain of salt. He says that he first got a trash bag, but that didn't really work. That's when he walked over to the vacant house behind the home, grabbed a recycling bin from there, and brought it back to the basement. He placed her inside and pulled her up the steps. He says that as he's pulling her up, some of her clothes ripped off, and they would actually later be found in the Robinson's garbage container in the kitchen. Once he got the bin outside, he wheeled her back to the vacant home before the rest of his family arrived back that night. Later that night, he attempted to cover his tracks by sending Autumn two Facebook messages. One that read, "Just got home, sorry, tomorrow," and a second one that read, "Hey, what's up?" Dante Robinson was home at the time that Autumn was being killed. He was actually upstairs in his room listening to music, and he would later admit to hearing Autumn screaming, but says that he didn't think anything of it. September 12th, 2012, Justin accepts a plea deal and is sentenced to 17 years in prison for aggravated manslaughter. He will be 30 years old when he becomes eligible for parole. Dante pleads guilty to obstruction of justice and is released from prison with time served. All right, guys, if you're still here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you and I appreciate you so, so, so very much. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or commented yet and you feel so inclined to, please do so. And until next time, stay safe out there.